I was a little girl when I first discovered the legend of the vampire. Eternal beauty and youth, and all I have to do is suck the blood from some miserable little peasants every once in a while. Oh, I was enamored. But I got swept up in the joys of Louis XIV's splendid court life, and the vampire went by the wayside. But then, something happened. I looked in the mirror to discover a single wrinkle when I laughed. Oh, don't get me wrong, I was still very beautiful. But I was turning 30 soon. If I didn't find a solution, I'd wither away. Or worse, be old. So I sought out the vampire, gained eternal youth, etc., etc. And now there's little girls trying to preserve their baby faces with ointments. Oh, you little fools. 2023 seemed to be the year of the Sephora tween, with news outlets as big as the Wall Street Journal and New York Times publishing articles on the phenomenon. To put it simply, a Sephora tween is a wealthy young girl who uses her parents' credit card to buy expensive and, frankly, usually unneeded skincare products at Sephora. Sephora tweens are especially obsessed with anti-aging products. Retinol, Glow Recipe, Drunk Elephant, all the things a 12-year-old absolutely does not need on their skin. Drunk Elephant is a really big deal, apparently. Nearly every headline or article seems to mention this specific brand. We'll come back to them later, though. Okay, so younger kids are getting into skincare. Fine, okay? So we're all concerned about adult beauty standards being enforced on younger and younger kids, right?
This thing was disgusting. There was a lip balm with a literal hair in it. Someone put the bronzing drops all over one of the moisturizers, couldn't even be bothered to put them back.
Oh. Okay, so I guess that's not the top concern. It feels like a big reason the Sephora tween exploded wasn't genuine concerns over literal children's obsession with anti-aging, even though that's, how do I say this politely, really concerning, if we're trying to be nice about it. In today's video, we will be investigating why girls are increasingly obsessed with anti-aging products, how skincare is sold, and why we're so obsessed with eternal youth. When you make a living as a good personal friend to the king, beauty is of the utmost importance. So is poisoning your enemies, being charming, not getting caught poisoning your enemies, but being beautiful is very important. Staying eternally young wasn't all vanity, honey. It was a business decision. When women are brand new to the workforce in their early 20s, they're considered inexperienced, unintelligent, and incapable, but things don't get better for them as they age like they do for their male counterparts. Rachel Shabi for The Guardian reported that women in their mid-40s, when their average confidence finally approaches a similar level to men's, are shoved aside by bosses and superiors. Shabi continues, but this exhilarating shift for women, finally shorn of ingrained behavior such as an endless people-pleasing, acquiescence and self-deprecation, clashes with expectations and incurs penalties at work. Essentially, when women become older and, hence, wiser, they're penalized in the workplace. But no, it's more than that. According to Forbes, around the age of 40, execs assume women aren't interested in advancing their careers, that they don't have the energy, are too busy caring for kids and parents, just lack the ambition. This means that as women age, their careers are often stalled and they are financially penalized simply for aging. When you're a young woman, you're not taken seriously, but just when people start to look to you, you get a wrinkle and your career stops dead. That's all really bad, but does it explain this utter fervor to remain young? I don't think so. I think a lot of it, frankly, is about morality. Many people don't take it well when they find out about my specific nature. Oh my God, you're a vampire, you kill people. Yes, darling, I'm morally depraved. But you know what's a worse moral failing than murder? Getting old. Which I'll never do, so really I have the moral high ground here. Barbara Ellen, writing for The Guardian is very concerned with Sephora tweens, it seems, wonders why young girls are so obsessed with staying young. She concludes that in our ageist society, Youth is the only acceptable state, and age is a moral failing for a woman. After all, if a woman's role in society is to be a beautiful object, and we don't see wrinkles as beautiful, then hasn't she failed as a woman by aging? I think this is the real reason these girls are so worried about aging. Aging is losing. Losing respect, losing dignity, losing your goodness. In her essay on aging, the iconic feminist writer Susan Sontag writes, "The ideal state proposed for women is docility, which means not being fully grown up. This then manifests as our society preferring younger women who may not, in fact, be fully grown up. Essentially, we value traits like innocence and virtue in women that are also traditionally associated with children, which leads us to value young-looking women. Our ideals of female beauty are influenced by our ideals for female behavior. This means that as a woman ages, she enters into what Sontag describes as an inexorable march toward a condition where she is not just unattractive, but disgusting. Compare this to men for whom fine lines, rough stubble, and graying hair can be considered very attractive, and you see just how hypocritical these standards really can be. In a society where a woman's primary function is to be beautiful, and female beauty is defined by youth, old women are failures. They've lost their purpose as women. So, if you don't want to fail your lone duty as a woman, you'd better pay up to the beauty industry. I think if you were really concerned with aging, you'd get a spine and follow my path. A real woman would do everything in her power to stop herself from aging. If you don't, then you just must not care, You must not be trying hard enough. You must be letting yourself go. Yes? Okay. Go give your $250 a week to the skincare industry now. I don't think it's a secret that cosmetics are a very profitable industry, but you'd be blown away by the real scope. According to Vox, anti-aging alone was a $37 billion industry in 2021. However, it's deeper than just monetary totals. Vox explains that once you start anti-aging, you're a customer for life. There's always a new injection, a new cream, a new product you need to continue anti-aging. We've gone from a bit of makeup to minimize wrinkles in your 50s, to anti-aging creams in your 40s, to preventative Botox in your 20s, to now, when we have eternal youth serums for 12-year-olds. Obviously, when you make your product desirable to younger people, your market expands enormously. So, that's what the beauty industry has done. Get little girls enamored with their products in order to create lifelong customers. According to Mashable, a lot of anti-aging packaging utilizes very youthful, fun designs that draw in specifically young girls. One of the girls interviewed for the article said as much, saying, quote, "Sometimes buying it's honestly not the result of the product, it's just the packaging." The article continues that many of the packages look practically edible, like a fun candy or fruit that our monkey brains desperately want. This is confirmed by an article on Glossy, which reports that many preteen girls appear to collect and display the packaging almost more than the products themselves. One parent and doctor interviewed for the piece likened it to collecting baseball cards. It gives girls status to display their $60 drunk elephant, even if they never really need it or use it. On some level, the kids don't even really understand what the products are for. They know they're trendy, prestige items, and that this mystical anti-aging effect is somehow important. In 2017, before the Sephora Tween craziness, Amanda Hess wrote for New York Times Magazine about the ever-evolving nature of the anti-aging industry. At first, in the 1930s and 40s, it was about your husband. A woman's aging was responsible for her husband's disinterest. Every woman was in a desperate losing battle to remain beautiful, not for herself, but to remain valuable to her family and society. However, Hess reports that in the past few decades, the strategy has changed. Now, we hear about empowered women who successfully race against time to take charge of their own looks. It's a cool, feminist, empowered fight against your own body to conform to beauty standards. doesn't actually sound great when you put it that way, but the marketing works. One survey found that women spent $250,000 on their appearances in their lifetime. $250,000. Let me say that one more time. $250,000 multiplied by millions of women in America alone. And yes, not all of this insane amount of money is anti-aging. But guys, $250,000. You wonder why we can't beat toxic beauty standards? It's because they're insanely profitable. These brands even use young influencers to sell their products. And when I say young, I mean young. Cody and Haven are 6 years old and have been sent products by Glow Recipe. These brands know that kids are easily influenced by peers and cool older kids, and they're using it to get itty-bitty children to use their products. In a 2022 interview, the founders of Glow Recipe actually highlighted their social media-focused strategy. After 2 influencers promoted the Watermelon Glow dewdrops from the brand, it became the company's top tool for acquiring new customers. Well, for many years, beauty influencers were adults, we're seeing more and more child influencers. The Guardian specifically highlights those such as the Kardashian children, who not only have aspirational lifestyles and cultural power, but the industry connections to seriously influence their peers towards certain products. Brands understand the power of child influencers. They understand that kids look up to their cool, influential peers. They understand that the younger kids get into makeup, the more years they can wring out of this potential customer. They understand money, and this is a great way to get it. So, why are young girls so obsessed with anti-aging? It's because aging destroys their futures. It's because their world has told them to age is to fail. It's because they were sold the idea of eternal youth from the moment they exited the womb. Don't you understand? I will be beautiful forever. The sun will burn out and I will be alone on the cold, dead earth, and I will still be beautiful. I will be beautiful forever and ever and ever. I will be beautiful. Thank you so much for watching my silly little final project. This was a bit unusual for my channel, but hey, content is content, right? Well, anyways, I hope to see you all in the next video, and I hope you had a great time watching.